Welcome to Object-Oriented Programming course. In today's class, we will start the Object-Oriented Programming fundamentals in Java. So we will learn class fundamentals, declaring objects, object reference, and introduction to methods. In UML, we already learned the basic concepts of class and object. A class is a blueprint or a prototype from which objects are created. A class is a generalized description of an object. Class is not a physically existing thing. It is a type. Acts as a type or category. Whereas object is nothing but an instance of a class. Objects are real world entities that has their own state and behavior. An object has physical existence. This is what we learned in UML. Now, in Java, we are going to learn how we can implement these things using Java programming language. So essentially, concept is same. We will see the syntax to implement that. Remember that class is a type. It is not about a physically existing thing. It is a generalized description. Object is the physically existing thing. In a class will have name and there will be data members and methods. That is what we are telling. So in each object here, this John is a particular instance of the class person. So John has a name, age, city, all those things are there. He has his own behavior and his state. So let us learn the syntax to implement a class in Java. Everything in Java is associated with classes and objects along with its attributes and methods. So a class will have attributes and methods or functions. Class members can be either part of the instance or object, or class members can be part of the class itself. Remember, at the time of UML, we mentioned about classifier scope and instance scope. The members which are having instance scope are part of the object, and the members are having classifier scope are part of the class. Means we used to underline the members which are having classifier scope. That is actually to indicate the static members. So the syntax, you can use the access modifier. A class can be public or default. So you may or may not mention the access modifier here. Then the keyword class. Then you can give a name, class name. Then within braces, you can give the class members. Then you have to close the braces. Okay. A class can have 0 or members, 0 or more members. Okay. Remember the UML representation in class diagram, we used to represent a class like this. So we were using this plus all these things to indicate the visibility. That is nothing but the access modifier. Okay. Class members. A class can contain methods and member variables. Class members can be either part of the instance or part of the object or part of the class. We will call them as static members. So the members of a class can be either static or non-static. In static, there can be static variables, static methods. In non-static, there can be non-static variable, non-static methods. Let us see one example for the class student. So this class name is student and it is having one integer attribute roll number and one string attribute name and one static string college name. So this is having keyword static. That means it is having classifier scope. Other things are having instance scope. That means when you create an instance of the class student, in each object you will have entry for roll number, name. Okay, but but this particular college name will not be part of any particular object because that is a static member. So that will be part of the class. Remember the example what we discussed at the time of UML. We here one class is there, class dog, that is having one instance variable, one instance method, and one static variable. So in each object you will have the instance fields, means instance name will be there, instance method will be there, but this static member, that is part of the class. that all the objects will be sharing that particular thing with the class. So creating objects. In Java, new keyword is used to create new objects. Okay, to create an object, you have to use new keyword. There are three steps when creating an object from a class. Declaration, a variable declaration with a variable name with an object type, means the type of the variable you have to mention. Then instantiation, that is the step where you are actually creating the instance. The new keyword is used to create an object or the instance of your class. Okay, next thing is optional, initialization. If you want to initialize your object, newly created object with certain values, then you can use appropriate constructor to initialize the newly created object. The new keyword is used followed by a call to constructor. This call initializes the new object. Let us consider the example of a class puppy. This is the class name. This is having one member variable. It is a non-static thing. That means it is part of the object. Then there are two special methods. That method name is same as that of your class name. First one is not receiving any argument. Second one is receiving a string argument. So it is actually storing this particular received string to this instance variable. So we have these two methods. These are nothing but the constructors. These are used to initialize your newly created object. Then you have a method. This is a non-static method. And in the main, you are creating the object of this class. Class name is puppy. Object reference name my puppy, new. You are creating a class instance of this class puppy. You are opening parenthesis. In that you are passing one string. That means this is the constructor which is accepting a string. This version will be executed. That means the name will be set to the pass string. With name will be updated with the string what you are passing at the time of object creation. So this is the syntax. If you are giving just like this, class name my puppy, you are not creating any object, you are just creating a reference variable named my puppy. Now once you create the reference variable, you can store an object my puppy equal to new puppy. So one object is created, that is stored here. Not that in this point you haven't initialized this object with any particular value, but if you want to initialize it, then you can use this syntax: object new, within parenthesis you can pass string or whatever. In our case actually we have a constructor which is accepting a string, so pass that string. So object is created and it is updated with a value domain. So the effect is something like declaration is not creating any object, puppy my puppy. That means you are creating a reference variable and that reference variable is not pointing to any object. So initially that's why its value will be none. When you execute this statement, my puppy equal to new puppy, a new object is created, but in that name is not assigned. That object reference is set to my reference variable my puppy. So now my reference variable my puppy is pointing to this object. Or if I want to create an object which is initialized, so in that case I will go for this constructor option. Puppy equal to new puppy, in braces I am passing the name, in parenthesis I am passing the name. So new object is created and the name is set to Tommy, and my reference variable my puppy will be having the address of the created object. Assigning object reference variable. When you assign one object reference variable to another object reference variable, you are not creating a copy of the object. So don't get confused that assignment of a reference variable is not going to create a new object. Okay, to create a new object you have to use the new keyword. Consider this case. Our class name is box. Box b1 equal to new box. So this reference variable is updated with a newly created object of my class box. I am creating another reference variable b2 and I am assigning that with b1. This particular statement is not creating any new object. It is just setting the value of this reference variable b2 to the value of b1. That means b1 and b2 are both are pointing to the same object. That is the meaning. When you assign null or another value to an object reference, you are not making any change to the object. Okay, by assigning null to an object, means null to a reference variable, you are not deleting the object directly. Change is only to the reference or the link. Just see the statement b1 equal to null. Here b1 is pointing to an object created in this part. So if I am setting b1 equal to null, remove the link between the object and b1. So b1 equal to null will remove this particular link. It is not deleting the object. Object deletion is actually the responsibility of the garbage collector. If you set this reference equal to null, means the value of this reference is getting stored updated with null. It is not changing the object. So this link is getting removed. Accessing non-static variables and methods of a class, or non-static members are also known as instance variable. A class's methods can access the class's non-static or instance variables and call its non-static or instance methods. In particular, the main method for a class is often used to test the class's method. But main method is a static method. We will come to that. An instance variable is accessed with the expression reference variable or the object name dot instance variable name. Similarly, an instance or non-static method is called in the form of object reference dot method name. Okay, instance variable and instance methods are accessed via created objects. So this is the example. Okay, you have a reference variable. You are creating some class. Okay, this is actually the class name. So here you have an object reference. Now to access the members of this particular object, you have to use the object name dot variable name or object name dot method name. Okay, now I did not explain one particular point. In a class, you can have static members or instance members. I am not initializing them using any constructor. In that case, what would be their default value? We said there are three types of variables in Java. They are static members and instance members, then local local variables. In the case of static members and instance members or non-static members, they will be initialized. Their default value will be, for numerical values it will be 0, and for boolean it will be false, and for references it will be null. Okay, let us see one example. Here we have a class counter. In that I have one instance member, non-static member count, and I have one non-static method increment. In that method I am simply incrementing the count, and I have one non-static one instance method print. In that I am just printing the count. So from my main method, I am creating an object of this class counter c1 equal to new counter. I am creating another object reference cx, assigning that with c1. At this point of time, here one object is created. Now both c1 and cx are pointing to the same object. Now I am performing increment, c1 dot increment. So increment operation will print the value also. It will result in this line, count equal to 1. Again c1 dot increment. Now count equal to 2. Now I am setting c1 equal to null. Is it deleting my object? Let us check. I said both c1 and cx are pointing to the same object at this time. I assign c1 equal to null. So here I want to see whether my object is deleted or not. Cx dot increment. See, I am getting value 3. That means this particular statement just removed the link. It is not deleting my object. Now I am cx dot my count. I am accessing this particular member variable and setting it to true, setting it to 0. cx.increment, it will update that to 1. Okay. So now my cx is pointing to an object where the value is 1. Now in this statement, cx equal to new counter. I am creating another object and storing to the same reference. This was already having one object. I updated that with the new object. Now I am incrementing that value. I want to see which object is getting updated. If this one is getting updated, I should see 2 because the current count is 1. Increment means it should print 2. If the newly created object is incrementing means it should print 1. So here you can see 1. That means here now after this statement, cx is pointing to the newly created object. Okay. So this is the sample program. Okay, static variables. Till now we mentioned about the non-static members of the class. Now we will discuss the static variables. A static variable is common to all the instances, all the objects of the class because it is a class level variable. Static variables can be accessed by calling with the class name. It is not object name dot variable name. You will use class name dot variable name. Static variables are initialized when the class is loaded. It is not at the initialization happens even before the execution of your main method. The moment when the class is loaded to the memory, at that time static variables are initialized to their default values. Okay. Static variables are initialized before any object of that class is created. Static variables are initialized before any static methods of that class is executed. Means it is getting initialized immediately after loading it to the memory. Let us see this example. Static counter. Here now I modified my previous program. My count is set to a static member and I have one instance member name, and here I added one constructor. In that constructor I am storing one name to the means string to this name, and I am updating this count value. Okay, make note of this particular statement. Okay, and public okay, here in main method I am creating 3 objects of my static counter class, AA, BB, CC. Okay, then I am printing the name of each object, C1 dot. Okay, I am getting ABC print. Now I am printing the value of static counter my count. It is a static value. I am getting 3. How it happened? Because this counter is not part of any particular instance. It is shared by all the objects. Even though I am calling from this constructor, at this time the static variable is getting increased, but it is not part of the newly created object. So each time when the constructor is called, the class variable is updated. That is why it is printing 3. I said to access the static variable, I have to use class name dot variable name. So in that way I am printing. Look at this sentence here. Means in this statement I am printing C1 dot my count, my variable name. C1 is nothing but the object name. But I said the syntax is class name dot member name. But here I used object name dot member name. It will not give any error. But that is not the recommended way to use it, because it will create confusion. If you see this statement, you cannot tell whether it is a static member or an instance member. But if you see the class name dot variable name, it is very clear this is a static member. So you are always recommended to use class name dot member name format. Now let us learn about the methods. Method is nothing but function. Methods are same as that of the functions in C, but in Java they will be part of any class declaration. There is no method which is outside the declaration of a class. In Java, all the functions will be within the body of some class. A method is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data known as parameters into the method. Methods are used to perform certain actions, and they are also known as functions. Okay, method, function, both are referring to the same thing only. So every function will have a modifier, that is public, then return type, method name, then list of arguments or parameters. Within braces, you will have the body of the method. Depending upon the return type, there will be return. See, in this case it is returning integer value, so it is returning one integer value. If the return type is void, that means you will see only just return semicolon. Okay, let us see this example. Here I have a public class, my class, that is having one static method. Okay, and from the main I am accessing these static methods. See, I am not creating any object. I am see, my main is also a static method present inside the same class. So from the same class, from a static method, if I want to access another static method, I can simply access them, my method. Or if I want to access from a non-static class method, if I want to access another non-static member, just use the method name, because both are in the same class. Okay. So instance method. Instance methods are the methods which require an object of its class to be created before it can be called. Means these are the non-static members, non-static methods. So to use them, you need an object. To invoke an instance method, we have to create an object of the class in which it defined. Memory allocation. These methods themselves are stored in heap, but the parameters and their local variables and the value to be returned are allocated in the stack memory. They can be invoked simply using the method name. The instance method within the same or derived class in which they reside. So an instance method can invoke another instance method present in the same class, or the inherited one with just method name. No need to use any object name because both present in the same class. Instance method belong to the object of the class and they are not part of the instance methods belong to the object of the class, not to the they belong to the object, not to the class. They are part of the object. They can be called after creating the object. Every individual object created from the class has its own copy of the instance methods. They are part of the instance, so each object have its own copy. They can be overridden since they are resolved using the dynamic binding at runtime. Okay, this overriding is something but we haven't introduced till now, but just keep it in mind that instance method can be overridden. So I will explain what is overriding later. Okay, let us see one example. Here I have a class, unrelated class, in that I have one non-static member result and I have one non-static method, instance method add, that is doing some means adding these two values and storing into this member, and this print method is printing the result value. Now I have another class, instance method, in that I have one static method, I have one non-static method, and I have one static main method. Main method is always static. So here I am creating the object of my unrelated class, UC equal to new unrelated class. To call the methods of this unrelated class, I need to use the object, that means uc.add. So here I can call this method using the object name. Okay, in this class I have a static method. So to call this static method present in the same class from my static method main, I can simply use static method. Means just with the function method name I can call. But if I have to call the, see here, non-static method, this is part of the object. But so from the main method, if I have to call the non-static method, I have to create an object of this class, instant method. I am creating one new class, means new object, IM. Now this object dot non-static method. In this way I can access. Okay, so you will see the output. So for the first one, add will print the result. I am passing 5 for, it will print 9, and I am static method. So here I am simply calling the static method. and here I am calling non-static method. I am non-static methods. You are seeing that printed. So this is the output of this program. Static method, already we discussed it. These methods are declared with static modifier. The static methods are methods in Java that can be called without creating an object. They are referenced by the class name itself or reference to the object of that class. I suggest you to use the class name instead of the object name, because the static methods are part of the class. They are not part of any particular object. Static methods are associated to the class in which they reside. They can be called even without creating an instance of the class. So the syntax is like class name dot method name. They are designed with the aim to be shared among all the objects created from the same class. Static methods cannot be overridden, so that in the case of instance method, I said they can be overridden, but in the case of static method, they cannot be overridden, but can be overloaded, since they are resolved using static binding by the compiler at compile time. So two concepts are there: overriding and overloading. Overloading is allowed for static methods, but in the case of non-static method or the instance method, they can be overridden or they can be overloaded. Both are allowed. But for static methods, overriding is not allowed. They can directly access only static methods and static variables of their class. Static methods cannot access any instance members. They can directly access only other static methods or static members of the same class. Let us see one example. Okay, here I want you to debug this program. Okay, we have one unrelated class. I have one instance variable. I have one non-static variable result. I have one static method add. From that static method, I am updating the result and printing. Okay, and I have one static method, non-static method. From the main program, when I try to execute this program, I am getting following error. Line number 6, error. Non-static variable result cannot be referenced from a static context. So what is the error in this particular thing? Add is a static method. So this guy cannot access any instance member. So this method can access only other static members, but it is accessing result. Result is non-static. So that is the error. Now for line number 7 also there is error. Non-static method print result cannot be referenced from static context. See here, this particular method, this is also non-static. You are not allowed to access that from a static method. From a static method, you can access only other static members. So that is the error in line number 7. In line number 29, what is that? You are accessing non-static methods from your static main method. That is also not allowed. Static method cannot access other instance method. This non-static member can be accessed only using the object. You can use im.nonstatic method. That is allowed, but this way of direct access is not allowed, because this non-static method is an instance method that is part of the object, so you cannot access it from a static method. So that's all about the methods in a class. Okay, thank you for watching.